Welcome to the Sweet Spot Podcast, where we're all about helping players, coaches, and parents get the most out of the game. Whether you're stepping up to the plate, coaching from the dugout, or cheering from the stands, we got you covered with expert tips, strategies, and insights to make youth sports a better experience for everyone. Each episode, we'll share our own experiences and bring on special guests who will offer valuable advice on skill development, teamwork, and creating a positive environment for growth both on and off the field. So let's dive in and make the game even sweeter.
Play ball.
Welcome to another episode of the Sweet Spot Podcast. We got a doozy. 3-2, bases loaded.
Stepping into the play, Mr. Lewis Brinson.
I like that.
Welcome, man.
I like that.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for-
having me, guys.
Thank you for being here,
Absolutely.
man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, happy to be here.
Absolutely. Listen, I got to get to it right away because I know you're a young guy, super athletic. You look absolutely amazing.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So I want to ask you because, you know, back in our playing time, right? Like you spent some time playing the game. All of a sudden, season's over. You need to unwind. You need to like kind of let go of the game for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Like, what's your relationship with the game right now?
You know, I love watching the game still. I love keeping up with guys that I knew and played against. You know, I appreciate and have, you know, nothing but love for the game. It's brought me many of opportunities, taken me all over the world. So, you know, I'm great with the game right now. Honestly, real. Me and baseball have a great relationship. Yeah.
You can never let go of that first love, huh?
No, man, I don't think. And my wife understands. She gets it.
Listen,
she
I tell
understands.
I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, look, baseball was my first love, right? So
Yeah.
like my experiences with baseball are only gonna make my relationship with you better.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So, and that's why we have the life we have. So, you know, she appreciates it and she loves that I have a passion, obviously. And you know, even though I'm not playing anymore, it's still on the TV, and she's like, okay, I'll go in the room. Because she knows. Yeah, she knows. But no, she obviously knows the love I have for her, but also baseball's, you know, first love. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of, you know, like where you are at this juncture of your life, how do you see yourself with, you know, in terms of the game and like watching, like for example, team calls you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey Lou, come play. Are you packing up your stuff and heading out?
No. I'm done playing. It's weird because I've heard from a lot of veteran guys, like, you know when you're done. And this is when I'm a rookie. And Derek Jeter, for instance, he told me, he's like, you know when you're done. You don't want to train anymore. You don't have the passion to want to get better because baseball is game of failure, but also you need to dedicate, in my opinion, you need to dedicate everything to the game to get better. And the game's evolving and it's getting better, and these pitchers are throwing 103 now. Like, you have to be on top of your game at all times. So it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice. And, you know, I'm at a point where it's just like, you know, I don't want to chase something that's not chasing me back. You know, I've had my time in the big leagues. I'm very appreciative of that. I've gotten to play for my hometown team. You know, grateful. I manifested that when I was in elementary school. I told my teacher I was going to play for the Marlins. I was playing the big leagues, and it happened. I got a nice little 4-year career out of that, and it was nice.
Amazing how that works out.
Yeah,
The whole
exactly,
manifesting
man.
thing.
It was amazing. And yeah, man, but I'm at a point where I have doors that I need to open, that I need to unlock, and I want to see what's next. And I just don't have the passion to want to get better and continue to get better and want to keep playing the game. And I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to do that to the game. The game doesn't deserve that, in my opinion. So it's time for me to move on. Again, I'm cool with it. You know, I deal with it on my own. Obviously, I miss playing. I miss being in front of, 35, 40,000 people. The competitive nature of everything, hitting a home run, diving catches, running out to the field, warming up before the game, like the smell of a ballpark, spring training. You miss all that, but there's a time and a place, and like, all right, I'm done and I'm okay with it. So that's where I'm at.
When did that time come? Like, was it a long time ago? Do you see it coming?
When I knew I was kind of done.
Yeah.
Last year, specific time last year, probably around like beginning of June. I had just got done in Mexico. Not for me. Winter ball's not for everybody, and that was like their summer league. Good league, great competition. I knew a lot of guys that played down there. I had never seen that part of Mexico. All I've seen is like Cancun and the nicest, beach town resort of Mexico. So you got to see a different side of Mexico a little bit, but it just wasn't for me, and didn't do my best there, and came back. And honestly, man, this is the first time I'm telling somebody like on camera. Like I told my wife, I told my best friend. But I went to a local park near my place, and I was going to run just to stay in shape or whatever. And there was a random baseball in the middle of the field, like dirty little random baseball, and I avoided that baseball like the plague. And I just didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to touch it. I jogged around it. I didn't want to jog near it. And I was like, oh man. Like I never felt it. If I see a baseball, I don't care how dirty it is. I'm picking it up. I'm flinging it around. I'm pretending to throw it. And I didn't want nothing. I wanted nothing to do with it. And it wasn't like maliciously. It wasn't like, I hate baseball. It was just like, I'm so done with you right now.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you. It's like when your wife or your girlfriend's mad at you. It's like, I'm just done with you. I don't want to talk to you right now. Right. Like, just leave the room. It was like that. It was like, man, I'm not with it right now, man. I gotta go in another direction. And that's, I knew, I'm like, okay, you might be done.
This is time.
Yeah, it might be time. I still want to work out. I still want to look good. And be able to move around. I don't want to be 65 years old and be getting up from a chair all slow and stuff. So I want to be able to move and still look good and eat well, just from habits. And, I like looking good. But as far as like the training aspect of baseball, I'm just doing stuff for golf now. Yeah. I'm an avid golfer now.
Any do-overs? Because I'm not big on regrets.
Yeah.
I don't partake in that, but any type of do-overs that you have thought about from your playing career?
Yeah. No regrets, honestly. Everything happens for a reason. I believe in that. I made it to the big leagues, and thinking back, I wanted to make it that was my ultimate goal, was to make it. Everybody strives to be the greatest and the Hall of Famer, but I also realize that that's not everybody's path. And I'm okay with that. Maybe just, I wish I was more mentally ready my rookie season with the Marlins. Obviously, things happen for a reason again. But I just wish, because I was physically ready to be there, just mentally I wasn't ready to deal with what I had to deal with. So I think mentally, I wish I was just a little bit more mentally prepared for that season.
How tough is that, right? Like you're trying to get your feet wet in the big leagues, then now you get traded to your hometown team.
Right.
Like everything you've ever dreamed of just literally happened, and all of a sudden you're putting all that pressure on yourself. How difficult of a challenge was that?
It was tough. I was happy more than anything, obviously being home. My mom had just retired that year, so she got to come to every single game and watch her son play for the team that he grew up loving, and she drove him to go see at Pro Player Stadium. So that was a full circle moment. That was amazing. Anytime I would jog out in the field, she's first one. I felt like first one in the stadium, waving me down, and any home run I hit, I look up to her and, kind of give her a courtesy thank you for making this possible. So that was amazing. But it was a lot. It was a lot of pressure. You get traded for the MVP. You get traded to your hometown team. You get the franchise tag, painted on you right off the bat. You already have expectations for yourself, being a competitor and a big league baseball player. Like, you want to get things done. But obviously the media and everybody, kind of putting that on me. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but it was a lot of pressure, and I felt that, and it was tough to deal with. But again, I wish I was more mentally prepared to deal with what came with that. But it was a lot, and I would not change it for anything. I had a lot of notoriety. I had a lot of exposure. My teammates backed me all the time. Shout out to that 2018 team. They helped me through a lot of things, a lot of struggles. Those guys know who they are, and I appreciate you guys. But yeah, it was a lot, and I wish I would have dealt with it differently, but it happened for a reason, man.
And in that same vein, in terms of coping with the pressure and the expectations from outside sources and self-imposed, because being an athlete, at the end of the day, you have high expectations for yourselves. Did you have someone or a group or someone specifically that you could rely on in terms of bouncing some of the psychological things that go on between our ears as men?
Yeah.
How did that go with you?
I mean, my mom. Yeah, I grew up. It was just me and my mom, my uncle. My dad passed when I was young. I was 10, 11 years old. I had a mentor, hitting coach mentor, that had been with me ever since that had happened. And I'd tell him, and I'd tell him to this day, I don't get to the big leagues without that. Without him in my corner, I would call him. I would ask him for advice, or how to think and what to do. Obviously, hitting advice as well. But the mental side, he was very into like being strong and being able to get through tough times. Because life's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have ups and downs, and obviously spotlight being on me. This is literally the perfect situation for both of us. I'm home. He gets to watch me on TV. He gets to come to the game whenever he wants. His kids get to come whenever he wants. But I would bounce a lot of things off of him as far as advice and what to do. Like I said, my mom, my current partner now with our nonprofit, he would kind of guide me through some things and some thoughts that I was having. But I believe you need to be in tune with yourself. You can't always look for outside sources. I'm a religious man. I look to God a lot of the time for any questions or concerns or things I'm confused about. I look to him to answer that, and he has, 10 times over. But I had to be okay with myself. I had to mentally grind it out with myself and figure out how I tick. And what I need to be able to focus and perform every day. So I give myself a lot of credit, especially after that 2018 season and 19 season. That's when I started to go on like my mental journey and being able to breathe and cope with different things, and being able to get through tough times and good times, because sometimes good times you can get your head too big, and it'll, life will bring you right back, and baseball will bring you right back down to earth. So just coping with that, I give myself a pat on the back for sure.
And Lou, in terms of right along that same line, anything that you would share with young athletes in terms of the mental side of things that you realized as a grown up, as an adult, that you would be like, hey, be on the lookout for this, or when you have some type of internal battle, do this type of thing?
Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's mindset is different. I do believe you need to believe in yourself. You need to play in the big leagues. I'm just talking baseball here, and I feel like any sports out there, any professional sports, you need to have this like cockiness to you. You need to have this like arrogance to you to be somewhat successful on the field. If you talk to the best players in the game, they believe in themselves. They believe that they're the best player on the field at any time, and that's why they're great. But advice that I give to young athletes and young guys today, or anybody, is you need to trust yourself. That comes with putting in the work and being able to know your routine and know, what you need to do each and every day to be prepared for whatever you're doing. But you need to trust yourself. That's one thing that I wish I would have done more, being able to trust yourself. I can't tell you how many times I've been on deck and a new pitcher come in, like, man, he's going to throw me a first pitch fastball. And then you get in there and you're like, but what about that slider?
Yeah.
What about that slider, though? What about that changeup he threw to the last batter? Blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, it's a first pitch fastball right down the middle. I'm not ready for it. So that's just an example, but I'm sure people have those different things in life where, like, you should have trusted yourself, trusted your gut instinct. You've been doing this long enough to know certain situations. You might not realize it at the time, but in the moment, like, just if a thought comes to you, you get a gut feeling like, man, I really should be doing this right now. Trust it. So that's, a piece of advice that I like to give to young guys or young athletes: just trust yourself. It's going to work out. You know yourself. You know what I'm saying? So just go ahead and trust it.
And a little inkling that we get, it's good.
Let me ask you this, because a lot of times, obviously, we go through it, with our kids, right? And we tell them, hey, have fun.
Yeah.
How much fun were you able to have in comparison to your youth baseball experience or youth basketball when you played in the big leagues? Like, is there a point in time where you say, you know what, this isn't fun, or this is just, now this is a grind. Like, this is a business. This is my career. Like, I do you force yourself to try to have more fun when you played, or was that something that was part of your mental health?
I mean, if you're forcing yourself to have fun, that's the downfall right there. If I told you every day I had fun on a baseball field, I'd be lying. There was times where I didn't want to go to the field. There was times where I didn't feel good at all. Like, I would wake up like, man, this is gonna be a rough one today. Regardless of who's pitching, who we're playing, where we're at, how I slept that night. Like, you just wake up and you're not feeling great, and you have to figure out ways to get up, and you have a job to do. Yes, we are playing a game, but it is my job. I'm getting paid for it. So I need to show up. I'm being put in the lineup for a reason. And I have, obligation to my teammates to show up and do my job and make sure I'm prepared. So I took that into every day. But there was a lot of times where I was having so much fun. I'm in the big leagues. I went 3 for 4 today. We won. I'm in Chicago. Like, you're in these great places. It was a lot of fun. I was playing with my boys, some teammates that I still keep up with to this day. And we get to go out in New York or Chicago or LA. Like, we get to have fun in these different cities, and we're making a bunch of money. We're playing the game that we've grown up loving and playing. So yeah, there was a lot of times I was having a lot of fun, but there was also a good amount of times where it sucked. It felt like a job. It felt like an obligation. Like, okay, I gotta wake up. I gotta go to the field, blah, blah, blah. But you try to get that mindset of like, no, I get to go to the field today. And that's what keeps guys going. That's what kept me going. Like, no. I get to go to the field today. I get to go to a big league stadium, play in front of 35, 40,000 people, and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what happens, you try. And that was kind of later on in my career that I kind of developed that mindset. Early on, I was just trying to stay afloat and figure things out. But in those times, there was some fun times too. But as my mental developed a little bit more, every day was like, all right, it's a good day today. I get to wake up. I'm playing baseball for a living. I get to go hang out with my boys. And then at 7 o'clock, we get to go play a game. And then we're going to go back to the hotel. We're going to go eat. We're going to go here. We're going to go have a good time. I'm with my fam. My wife's here. My mom's here. You know what I'm saying? I get to hang out with my mom. I get to take care of dinner and be okay. And treat people that have treated me all my life. And you think about those different things, and everything bad kind of exits your mind. But yeah, I had fun a lot of times, but there were times where I did not have the funnest time on the field.
You talked a little bit about, friendships and all those relationships that you built throughout the game and even today. Mm-hmm. Was there a point in time where you started thinking, and obviously you're going through these mental health battles yourself, and all of a sudden you look at the guy next to you and you're looking at him, you're like, man, this guy's going through the same stuff I'm going. Mm-hmm. Is that where you build that bond and that friendship where it's like, hey, I got to help these guys out because I'm not the only one going through all this. Mm-hmm. How does that work in a clubhouse?
Yeah, again, holding each other accountable and being obligated to help your brother next to you. We're together for 8 months out of the year. This is my coworker. This is my teammate. This is my brother. I go to war with this guy every day. If somebody throws at him, I got to retaliate. I got to have his back. And obviously, like, our wives hang out, and we know each other's kids and all this other stuff. I don't have any kids, by the way. Not yet, but
It's life-changing, by the way.
I'm realizing with all my friends having kids now.
Wait till you have 4.
I don't know how you do it. We're not gonna have that many.
I don't know how
we ain't gonna have that many.
He doesn't know how he does it.
I don't know. God might give me 4. Who knows? I hope not. But anyway, so you have things that you're going through, and you have friends in the clubhouse that might be going through the same struggle. You might be going great. You might be having a 2-week stretch where you can't get out. And this guy's having 2-week stretch where he doesn't know how to play baseball. We've both been there. But you start to build those relationships because I think those guys realize, like, man, this guy's trying to help. Whether it's, hey man, after the game, let's go get a beer. Let's go to dinner. We don't necessarily have to get deep into conversation and talk, but let's just go hang out. Let's get off of baseball for a second. That helped me a lot, not going out and partying and staying out all night and going to the casino and all this other stuff. If you do that, great. If that's how you get through things, that's great. But I would like to go out. I would like to, experience different things in different cities, man. Have a drink, go to a nice bar, go to a nice lounge. Anybody that knows me knows I like a nice glass of wine. I like some nice music, some hip hop and R&B, and just to sit there and relax. But sometimes that would help me get off baseball and help me turn the page for a good night or a bad night, because you don't want to get too high or too low. But you'd see teammates next to you and kind of lift them up a little bit. If they're going through something, they may be going through something at home. It's none of my business unless you make it my business. But if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I'm not a therapist, but I've been through things, and I think I can maybe help you out, maybe get through a couple things that you're going through. Since we're both here and you might be my locker mate, or I might see you every day. Past like 3-4 days, you kind of walk in, you don't talk to anybody, you go straight to the training room, you go back to your locker, you go to the cage, you go back to your locker, you're on your phone till game time, then you go out. It's like, you're usually not like that. Like, what's going on? So you might, check on that guy. But there is that in the clubhouse, like checking up on each other. Like, we're not always going to be great every single day, and we all know that. Especially if it's a guy that you talk to a lot, or, we hang out outside of this. You try to help that guy out. It's your obligation, I feel like, as a teammate. That's what you get classified as, a good teammate, good clubhouse guy, where you're not just all about yourself. You're checking in on other guys too.
Going back to your previous statement about being a rookie and feeling that there were things that you could have done better, or that you could have been in a better place mentally. Now, as a retired major leaguer, is there something that you would say to that rookie Lewis Brinson, like, hey, it's going to be okay. Do, maybe guide yourself in a different manner? You know what I mean? Like, what would you say to yourself?
You're here for a reason. A lot of the times, like, I would question, should I be here? Do I belong here?
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
We all suffer from it.
Exactly. And I would just go back and kind of nudge him and be like, hey, belong here. You're one of the best players in the minor leagues. You dominated, and everything you hear getting up to the big leagues is you need to dominate levels to get to the big leagues. And I dominated, and you earned your way up here. You're supposed to be up here. It might take you a little bit. You might not be Mike Trout off the bat. You know what I'm saying? You might not be, these guys that immediately get to the big leagues and now they shine. You know what I'm saying? They go through for the first game and then they never look back.
Well, not even Trout. Trout got sent back down.
Exactly. And but it seems like Trout got up there and was like balling from the get-go. It's not going to be like that for everybody. And I would just tell him, like, another thing, trust yourself. Trust the work you put in the offseason. You worked your ass off to get here. Trust yourself. You belong here. You're okay. Everything's going to be all right. Just keep working, keep pushing, get those negative thoughts out of there. Because I feel like negative thoughts kind of overtake the positive ones sometimes. But just, again, trust yourself. You belong here, and just keep repeating that over and over and over.
And after baseball now, like, how do you, with regular day-to-day stress and pressure and stuff, what do you do to, get back to baseline? How do you unwind, and what do you do in terms of getting yourself to get off the pressure?
Yeah. I speak very positively to myself. People might think it's weird, but I meditate every morning, pray every morning, mostly thanking God for what I have, and my ability to do what I'm doing each and every day. And then I speak very, very positively to myself. I tell myself I'm good, I'm great, I'm strong, I'm loved, I'm confident.
Affirmations.
Yeah, you speak. Your body listens to what you tell it, and you need to speak very kindly to yourself. A lot of us get in trouble when we're, the joking, I stink, I can't do this, I suck, whatever the case might be. Your body's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we suck then. So I find like different stresses in life. Obviously, I have different stresses from playing baseball, facing 100 today versus, I need to make a couple phone calls or a couple emails today, or, playing golf, whatever I'm doing. But you got to speak positively to yourself. You have to tell yourself, you're good, whatever it is you want to tell yourself. That's what helps me get through things. And if I can't, I go to the beach. The beach is a place of calmness for me. If I'm confused, anytime during baseball season, obviously when I'm in Arizona, I can't really do that. But anytime something was confusing or something was off or I didn't feel right, I would just go to the beach. I would ride down A1A. I would go on the beach. I'd sit there. I'd walk on the beach, take my shoes off, and just walk on the beach. It just clears my mind and gets me back to square one and being able to breathe. I feel like the beach is very, very, very calming and just a natural, good place. I don't know who could be sad at the beach, but I get a lot of answers at the beach for sure.
My wife would love Lewis. She's like any day of the week that she could find a way to
go
tell
to
me,
the beach,
hey,
bro.
let's go to the beach. Like she will say it. Like she's
Yeah,
actually going
bro.
tomorrow. So I mean, yeah, there it is.
I love
There
it, man.
there
I love it. I need to look at water. That's why my place is on. It's on the or the bay now. Out my window, I can look at water, and the beach is right there, and the water's right there. I can walk to the water. So I made sure when we were looking for a place, like I was able to be close to some sort of water.
When did you figure out, or when did you start taking the affirmations into your daily routine?
Probably 2021. 2020. I was gonna have a good year in 2020 if COVID didn't happen. I know, you could say, oh yeah, everybody says that, but I went off that spring training and I had just started my kind of mental journey then. I wasn't necessarily like the affirmations part of it wasn't. I was more so a mindset. Like I was telling myself in my mindset of
I
speaking
call it
it out loud.
affirmations because it's what, but it's the mindset.
Like speaking it out loud, I think is more powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that now. But as far as like speaking speaking things into existence, probably like 2021 really started to speak things into existence and speak positively to myself. That probably started in like daily in 2021 for me. Yeah.
Is that something that you picked up on your own? You read on, how you could help yourself out with those types of affirmations, or somebody that you spoke to told you, hey, why don't you try this? How did that process go for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, you see things on Instagram, you see things on YouTube, you figure things out for yourself. You pray a lot. You have people that have been through similar situations and they give you advice. So all that together, kind of brought the idea of, all right, let's meditate every day. See how that works first. And meditating brought me peace every day and being able to not care what people thought. That's another thing I wish I had in 2018. Not caring what everybody had to say, not caring what people thought. That's what I had in the minor leagues, honestly. I didn't pay attention to prospect lists. I didn't pay attention to what ranked prospect I was or what analysts thought I was going to be or who they thought I was going to be or whatever the case may be. I was like, man, I'm just playing ball and I'm balling right now. So I wish in 2018, that would have been more of my game of like, man, I don't care what you think, bro. I'm in the big league starting center fielder for the Marlins. Like, I belong here, obviously. So I wish I had that mindset a little bit more. But, things happen for a reason. But I think that mindset was developed by myself and just seeing examples through social, through different people, books, magazines, anything I can get my hands on, really. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you. Obviously, this episode we talked about making it about mental health and mostly because of what you're doing post career wise.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit, elaborate a little bit what you're onto these days?
Yeah, so working with a nonprofit, Home Team Foundation, with my boy Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. We just had our 5th annual Broward versus 305er softball game. We don't call it a celebrity softball game, but there are celebrities that play in it and some athletes and some guys that you might know. But we're trying to put out in the community and in the world that it's okay to not be okay. We're not all okay. Nobody is perfectly fine all the time, every day. And having to deal with that, I think it's kind of frowned upon to talk about that aspect of your life in real life and day-to-day life. I mean, people want to act like they're strong all the time. And, social media has kind of put a cloud over our faces to where everything's great. And this person has a amazing life, and this person is on boats and yachts and driving nice cars, and they live in these penthouses, and they have a nice relationship. Their relationship is perfect. It's like, no, they're probably in shambles, but they get they get these 30-second videos together so they can make whatever they're making and make the money that they're making, which is fine. Your own hustle. I don't knock nobody's hustle, but everybody's not okay. And it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it and to talk about it with people and be open about that. I'm not okay every day. My wife is not okay every day. I'm sure you guys are not okay every day, especially with your 4 kids. I'm sure you want to rip your hair out sometimes. But being able to talk about that and talk through things, not only with adults, but obviously with kids. A lot of kids are going through a lot of, who am I? And, am I good enough? And all these other things. And they're confused and they don't know what it means. And we're just trying to put out that message, it's okay to talk about these things with whoever you trust. You might not trust everybody. Might not trust me if you just met me. You might trust my experiences because it's something that you've been through or something that you're striving for. So you might trust that. But as far as, being able to speak your mind and being able to be open with your experiences or what you're thinking about or what you're going through day to day, it's okay. And we try to put that out there. And this was the first year we had a Sandlot game. So like a pregame to our game, to where we partnered with Florida Minority Baseball. And it's pretty much an organization that helps kids and coaches all throughout the state of Florida go to maybe, showcases they might not be able to go to or be invited to. They put on their own showcases. They put on their own events for these kids and these coaches and give these kids awards for what they've done throughout the year. So we partnered with them and got some kids, local kids to play, Team 305, Team Broward. Team Broward did win first annual. I'm from Broward. So JP was my opposing manager, and he'll come back with a vengeance next year. But just we want to put out that message and kind of bring our own experiences into, your life and be able to be vulnerable with you. So they're like, oh man, they go through the same thing or they've been through the same thing. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, shout out to my boy, Trevor. He's helped me along my path. He's one of my resources that, when I was in Japan, really, really, really helped me get through that. I got a little homesick over there and, the language barrier and, there's parts where I didn't understand what they were doing and I thought I was doing good, but I wasn't, and to them, and it was weird. And I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know really how to get through that. I hadn't experienced that yet. So he really helped me get through that. And he's helping me with the business side, business aspect of things that I'm trying to do now. So shout out to him and all the good work that he's doing. And he's brought me along to be kind of the athlete face of it and really be hands-on with it. And couldn't be more happy to be a part of the organization.
That's awesome.
Getting into now your experience with Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
Was there something that, culturally speaking, as professional baseball players in Japan, was there something that they did in terms of preparing for the game or their day-to-day that would help the mental side and the mental health of a baseball player that is not customary here? Yeah.
They did a lot. They did a lot of things. They move differently than we do. The pregame is kind of the same, but they prepare a little different. Their pregame rituals, like before a game, we stretch before, like a team stretch before pretty much every game, and then later on in the year, We actually did infield, outfield at the beginning of the year every day, like every day of every series. It's kind of brutal. But that's something that they're used to, and it definitely got my arm stronger. But then we would reduce it to first day of every series. You do infield, outfield, you stretch as a team and all that. We have a meeting before the actual game starts in front of the dugout where they choose one guy and he gives them we give like a motivational speech before the game. And we say, let's go. And then we kind of go in the dugout and we go our separate ways. But
Did you give one?
I did a couple. Obviously my interpreter had to tell them what I was saying. But they liked it. And if we were on a winning streak, whoever did it the day before would keep going until we lose. So that was fun, little goofy thing we do before games. But they pay attention to wellness. Like it's big with them. Ice tub, cold tub, saunas, hot tub, contrast, getting massages before. So they had, anytime we would go on the road, we would have a training room dedicated to, like, they would get out the beds and everything. And that would be the training room. So there would be guys, the older guys, that would go in there and get treatment in the morning, and then they'd go to the field and get treatment again before the game or right before the game. And there's a lot of downtime over there. We have a lot of downtime over here, but and then right before we go out to stretch, we have a team meeting, like a literal, like, travel agent, coaches, everything would tell us schedule for that day or the upcoming series. They would explain to us everything, or if it was somebody's birthday or something good happened the day before, we would all, give that person the love that they deserved, and then go out. So, like, we'd had like 3 or 4 meetings, and would including the hitting meeting before that. So it was like 3 or 4 meetings before you go out every day.
Do you see like any of that, like the success that like guys like Shohei, Ichiro, for example, have had with that type of culture? Something kind of different than what we see here. Do you see some of that culture coming into American baseball and kind of owning up to like what they're doing in Japan for success?
Their repetition is insane. They take so many swings every day, but they've been doing it since they were kids, like young kids. They have different methods of how they prepare and how they hit and everything. Obviously, all of them kind of hit the same way, very similar, but they have done it so many times. So, for example, in spring training, start spring training, we get to feel like probably like 6:30. And we start with hitting. Well, we would stretch a little bit before you stretch on your own. And then they would start with, it depended on how long you had in like service time over there or how old you were. So the younger guys had to take 1,500 swings a day.
Wait, what?
1,500.
Even on game days?
Even on game days. 1,500 in spring training now.
But did they have somebody clicking?
Yeah. We had 3,000 coaches. We had so many coaches. But they would walk around, and whoever was flipping it had to keep count. So they would have buckets and buckets and buckets of balls. So sometimes if they didn't finish by the time because the older guys would have to take maybe like 200 to 500. I did whatever I needed. They didn't make me do all that, thank God. But the older guys would hit like soft tosser off the tee, and then they would go in the cage, and we would do like routines. So they do double barrel, so lefty righty BP every day, which was cool. If we're facing lefty, you hit more off the lefty. Facing righty, hit more off the righty. Then we do machine, we do routine. Run on first, run on second, runner second, move the guy over, sack fly. We would bunt routines, everything. They do a lot of bunting. No matter how big of a power hitter you are, you practice bunting.
Got a bunt.
Yeah, and they have a lot of signs over there, so we had to learn all those. But you had to do that. But yeah, 1,500 swings a day, and if they didn't finish, they'd have to go after practice and complete all those swings before they can go home.
I got a fun question. Any verbal signs in Japan?
No.
Okay.
There was 15 signs I had to learn though.
If they 15. Give any verbals?
Like no verbals. But there was like 15 signs we had to learn. And I struggled with that, obviously. We're used to hit and run, bunt, and steal over here. Maybe, you know.
Can you name a couple that are not, you know, the typical ones? Like,
yeah, they had a couple
that
that were like, they had like they do slashes over there.
Okay.
A lot. Actually, with like the
slap
shorter guys,
hitters
like that slap hitters, the leadoff guys that put the ball in play, they do like the slashes a lot. They actually did that in games a lot. I never had seen that in a game, maybe once in America. But they had
Juan Pierre would do it. Every once in a while.
Okay,
Yeah,
Juan
JP,
Pierre,
yeah.
he would probably working great over there. But they had a few. I can't think of them right now off the top of my head, but they had a few that were like, wait, you call it that? We call it that, like this over here. But a lot of things that they did were very unorthodox. And I tell people that want to go over there now, I'm like, listen, throw everything you know about Big League Baseball, throw it out the window. They don't do it over there. Not saying it's like, it's just different. And they've been doing it for hundreds of years, and they're not going to change for anybody, no matter who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's worked for them. They respect it, and they do it every single day. So they're not going to change. So, and a guy told me over there when I first got over there, listen, this is not the big leagues. When you get on between the lines in the Tokyo Dome, 50,000 every night. That's the big league. It was amazing. They're cheering all the time. They're happy. They're paying attention to the game. Ain't nobody on their phone. They might be eating, but for the most part, everybody is paying attention to what's going on in the field. That part is the big leagues, but like the way that they practice and the different things that like the pitchers stretch in center field. So like I'm playing center trying to get my reads in during BP, and I got to watch out for the pitchers behind me. And like they have like a little tent or like a screen that protects them, like they're rolling out, and they'll do whoever's starting that day, they'll do PFPs in the outfield. So it's coming back, like all the different things that they would do. That's just so weird. But it works for them, and you know, you get used to it over time, but it's just, when you go over there, you have to give in to their culture. You literally have to tell yourself, listen, all the stuff that I know over here as far as like baseball and culture wise, throw it out the window and just give in to what they're doing. If you don't, you will have a miserable time over there.
Off the field, like when you're out with your teammates or family or whatever, how were the fans in terms of
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I had people cry seeing me, and that was very weird. Being in, like, sometimes they would wait for me because so in Tokyo, we rode the train pretty much all the time to go to the stadium. It was like 7 stops. It was very close. And there would be people waiting for us because they would know the stop and know when we would get off, where we would get off, and they would be waiting for us to sign cards or just, see us before we'd go to the stadium. But if you go out somewhere and you're on a train or you're in a store or wherever you might be, somebody will recognize you and they will lose their mind. And baseball is their number one sport over there. They look at baseball players as like gods over there. It's awesome. I loved it. I loved every moment of every game in Japan because the fans are, like I said, they're into it, and they would wait for us outside of our hotel. And I was with the Giants, so that's like the Yankees over there. Mm-hmm. So anytime we go on the road, there was a bunch of people outside our hotel. They would give you gifts. Oh, I forgot about this. There was a lady every time we went to Nagoya. Nagoya was like 2 hours bullet train ride from us. And we would go through the train station, and she would hand me a Starbucks card every time, because I came out in an interview and said I like matcha lattes from Starbucks. And she would give me a Starbucks card every time I'd go into the hotel, so I'd get Starbucks for free from that lady.
That's awesome.
But they would give gifts. If you come out and interview, if guys would come out and interview and be like, hey, I like this, or I like cookies, or I like chicken, or whatever, they would bring them cookies or desserts or give them bags and stuff, and you just take it and eat it on the bus or wherever you want it. But fans are very, very passionate over there, and I loved every second of it. It was awesome, man. Any guy that's thinking about going over there, go over there, man.
Did they have a hard time pronouncing Sweet Lou?
No, people would just say Brinson's son. So everything, your name is, there's a son after. Yeah. So nobody, it was never Lewis. It was just Brinson's son. Yeah. And another cool thing that they do is if you have a good inning and you get a big hit, big RBI or big home run, they'll chant your name. When you run out to the field, they'll chant your name until you take off your hat and acknowledge the fan. Like you bow to them and say thank you. Like they'll Brinson. You take your hat off, you bow to them and thank them for that, and go on. And then they cheer for you. It's all in the outfield. And then when you go on the road, the opposing team's fans have one section of the outfield. And we were packed out. Every little sliver section that they gave us, it was packed out with orange and black and white.
That's
so
how you know
travel
they're
well.
paying attention to to the
No,
game.
they I'm telling you, ain't nobody on their phone. Everybody is paying attention to what's going on the field. Like foul balls, ground ball, fly ball. Like they are paying attention.
Kind of has like a playoff vibe.
Yeah,
a regular
every game.
season playoff vibe.
Every game. It was amazing. It was awesome, bro.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Lou, when did golf make its way into your life? By the way, we play. Well, I play because
Yeah, we haven't played in months, right? But then watching Lou's Instagram and just got me
I just
itchy.
want. Yeah, I want to
got
get out
itchy.
there
I
more
got itchy.
more often. So when did that come into your life?
I mean, I bought my clubs. Let's see, in like 2016, but like playing consistently like the past couple years. Obviously I'm done playing baseball now, so like it has literally engulfed my life. No pun intended. But it's just fun, bro. It's another game that I need to master. I need to get better at. I'm never going to master it.
Good luck.
I know. Yeah. I'm never going to, but like I said, I put out a post. I got to break 80. By the end of this year, that's a goal of mine. And I'm starting to learn that I like. Obviously, I love golf, love the competition aspect of it, but I like the scenery of like golf courses. Like I like going to different golf courses and like seeing different, different greens and different fairways and kind of different obstacles that you got to get around. And, you practice different shots to get around different obstacles. So I've recently golfed in Vegas. Went to Vegas. My wife's from Vegas, so we went out there to visit her family and golfed out there and seeing the mountains. And this guy that we were golfing with was telling me I'm at the foot of the mountain. So like going certain ways is uphill, but it looked downhill, and like vice versa the other way. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Mountain. I see the mountain like 400 miles out that way.
The only mountain.
What do you mean?
The only mountain in Miami is in Tropical Park.
Yeah, bro. What are you talking about right now? Like I'm at the foot of a mountain. What? And he's like, yeah, so you got to read the greens. Like on the back nine, they go downhill, but it looks uphill, but it's really downhill. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about right now? I couldn't figure out the greens. I want to throw my putter. But just the scenic, like the views of being out there was like majestic for me. And like golfing different golf courses, like I said, and being down here for like the mecca of golf. In South Florida, like you get to golf different golf courses, and a lot of deals get made on the golf course. So a lot of good people that I've met, and interesting people that can open some doors that I'm trying to find the key to. So it's fun that way. But I'm getting better. And like baseball, I got to go to the range. You got to like go into the cage to get better. You can't expect to go out there and play well if you haven't practiced. So I got a golf course across the street from me, so I have no excuse.
How's your bunker game?
It's great. Actually, I prefer to hit it in the sand. I prefer, yeah. Like if it goes off and goes in the rough or just off the green, I'm like, God. Like, and I'll play with somebody who's like, oh, you're in the sand. I'm like, oh, yes. And they're like, huh? And they'll see when I get out of the sand. I haven't taken a lesson on it. I've watched golf. I'm like, oh, okay, so open the club face, turn this way a little bit, hit a little bit behind it, and it'll drop on the green. Cool. And I don't know. I prefer hitting off the sand.
You're an athlete, man. So.
Listen, I was a pitcher, and I always say this, right? Like
non-athlete.
Yeah. That's what I was. You said it. I mean,
that's what you think. I'm an athlete. I'm a pitcher.
So with me, like golf was like, man, it was just so much fun. Like trying to like throw a change up on a golf course, right? Like I felt like the shape and like
pitchers are usually really good at golf though.
Yeah, man, it was like that was what like drew me in. I was like, man, I could do so many things. Like if I was on a mound right now, like just trying to, say
they Lou, they play once every 5 days.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Yeah, pitchers have way more time to golf. They're usually way better than us at golf. But the swinging motion, the rotating motion of swinging a baseball bat, kind of translate into golf. But when I was playing golf in 2017, I started in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The weirdest weather ever in the United States, by the way. Hailstorms like I've never seen before. Like, it's insane. It's weird. It's so weird. But the ball flew out there, so I loved hitting it out there. But playing golf out there, a lot of mountains, a lot of like hilly greens, a lot of hilly fairways and stuff. But I would play before I would go play a game, and anytime I would play golf, like maybe 13 holes before I go play a game, I would always have a good baseball game. And everybody's like, oh, it's going to mess up your swing, But you think about it, I have taken so many reps of a baseball swing.
Muscle memories.
Muscle memory, as soon as I take maybe 5 to 10 off the tee, I'm like, oh, okay, we're playing baseball again. But I would have my best games like the day of, or, if I play golf the day before, like I would have a great game the next day.
I feel like golf is like you're more in tune with your body, right? Like I feel like your swing, like swinging a baseball, yeah, but it's different, right? Because now you're really defining like where the position is with hitting the ball exactly where you want to hit it and what you got to do with the plane. And I feel like there's more within each swing because you could vary it to do certain things.
So much finesse.
Yeah,
it's just patience too. Teach you a lot of patience. But baseball's so aggressive and fast and quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, golf will definitely teach you patience, if anything. Yeah. But I love it. I gotta pretend master it. One day I'll master it.
We'll get out there. We gotta find a fourth guy.
Let's do it.
Junior, do you play?
No. Hell no. We'll find somebody. I got a couple of friends.
Did you play out in Japan?
No, man. I wish I would have, bro. I didn't bring my clubs. I would have rented some, but I wish I would have, because they like golf. Yeah. They're and I like watching a Japanese baseball player and how like attention to detail they are. Like I would have loved to see them play golf. Yeah.
But you see it with Hideki Matsuyama. Like he's like very like.
I could have. I wish I could have played out there. Seriously, and the golf courses and stuff would have been amazing. The scenery would have been crazy out there, but I never got to play out there. That's one thing. I think that's one thing. That's that, and like going to see Mount Fuji.
It's a short flight. Just
go back. Real short flight.
A couple of miles.
Yeah, just right across the pond.
But best club in your bag?
Huh?
Best club in your bag? The one that you know.
The 7-iron, man. Gets me out of trouble all the time.
Same.
Gets me out of trouble, man. If I'm behind a tree, if I'm, need to kind of hit a stinger, I'm not sure how far to hit this shot.
Just the 7.
Yeah.
Swing
if I'm
80%.
off the green, if I'm off the green a little bit and my 58 ain't working that day, 7-iron. Especially if the pin's in the back, 7-iron. Yeah. Chip it up there. Bro. Yeah. 7-iron. Lucky number 7, man. I love that club. If I ever leave that club somewhere, I'd probably stop playing golf for a minute.
So we started this conversation with my little tingling of golf. Now I'm like in a full mode of like, let's go.
Let's go. We got tea time. Yeah. The sun went down to 8.
Yeah, we got a couple hours.
Yeah, we got a couple hours. We get
Granada's right around the.
We get 9. I got my clubs in the car.
So do I.
I keep my clubs in my car, man.
Oh man. All right, listen, Lou. One last question. I got one last question for you. Obviously, you've been successful all throughout. Your baseball career growing up. Been a big prospect. Made it to the bigs. Most people dream to be in. Have had the career you had. But down the road, your journey, speaking to your grandkids.
Yeah.
What do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be remembered for the Lou that has made it to this point? Or do you have something in the works where you feel like, what, my legacy is going to be from this point forward?
Man, that's a good question.
Phenomenal question, by the way.
That is a phenomenal question. I want to be known. I want them to know that their grandfather, their dad played professional baseball. He played in the big leagues. He made it. But I want to leave behind a legacy of he did everything he could to help the next guy and help the next generation and kind of bring his experiences out and be vulnerable with his experiences and being able to relate to different people. And I think baseball has given me the opportunity to meet a bunch of different people in aspects of life. I've been around some very important people. I've been around every different culture, every different language in baseball that you can be around. I'm able to talk to different people and be in different spaces. So I would want, my grandkids or, my great grandkids or my nieces and nephews, like, he gave back. He shared his experiences. He gave good advice, regardless of if it worked or not. But I just want to be able to share my experiences, and hopefully it helps the next person. It helps somebody else. Me being able to tell one kid something, or being able to go out and play a game. Because when I was a kid, my favorite player, to this day, my icon favorite player is Juan Pierre. And a lot of people were like, huh, it's not Ken Griffey. It's not, all these big name guys. Obviously Ken Griffey is Ken Griffey, one of the GOATs of our game. But me growing up down here, going to baseball games, I remember Juan Pierre. Juan Pierre looked like me. He was another black player. Played center field, played outfield, same position as me. He was a thin guy, looked like, but you get up close to Juan Pierre, he's not a thin dude. But he was one guy that I looked up to, and when I first told him that he was my favorite player growing up, he was shocked because he's never heard that. He's a leadoff guy, didn't hit for a lot of power, just kind of a role player, table setter guy, and usually those type of dudes aren't somebody's favorite player, typically, especially when I'm a grown up now, and I'm 6'5", and I'm big, and he's like, "I was your favorite? What? You looked up to me?" It makes no sense, but you never know who's watching you. So I've fast forward to when I was playing for the Marlins. I'll be somewhere at an event or something, and some kid will come up and like, "Man, I saw that game you played against the Cubs," or "I saw that game," whatever the case may be, and I wanted to play ball after that. Like, I wanted to make my high school team. I wanted to pursue baseball, and that's what we play for. Part of the reason why we play, obviously we love the game, but you never know who's watching. You never know who you're inspiring. And obviously with baseball, I want to inspire as many people as I can, but also when I'm done playing, I want to inspire kids to know that after baseball, there's a life for you as well.
Yep.
There's different avenues you can take. It's not over as soon as, you're not just a baseball player. You have a platform and you need to use it and help other guys and help the next generation coming up so our game can continue to flourish and get better and be more noticed around the world. So that's kind of what I want to leave behind. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that so far.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lou,
Thank you guys.
thank you for
Appreciate it, man. This was
thank you,
awesome,
man.
man. Yeah.
Had a great time.
Great. Had
That
a
was a
great
good
time. We'll
one.
get on the course.
Yeah,
We'll get out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
We'll get out there. We'll see what everybody has.
Well, thank you guys for
Yeah.
watching another episode of the Sweet Spot Podcast. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, and see you guys next time.
Peace.
Good stuff,
Guys,
man.
yeah, man.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
guys. Appreciate it. Dude. Yeah. Good to meet you guys. Thank you again. Yeah.